On February 10th, 2021, cryptocurrency giveaway account and self-proclaimed promoter of social growth at The World's a Mine posted a strongly worded tweet about BTS stans. So, within the BTS fanbase, there is a dark cult that is apparently taking up issue with many of us giveaway hosts. This is the ignorance of this dark side and should not be associated with BTS Army. These are extremists and borderline terrorists. How the hell did we get here? I'm Elliot from Baby Gang. Let's talk about how people exploited BTS stans through giveaways, and how many stans decided to fight back. Nat, also known as Honeymoon June on Twitter, is an ARMY. She knows what it's like to be in dire straits financially, and she has joined Twitter giveaways before.
When I first left my job and the pandemic first happened and I had no money and my bills were coming up, I joined a giveaway on a different account, like my personal account.
Twitter giveaways are a simple, self-explanatory concept. A Twitter account offers to give something away to one or more respondents who complete a set of requirements. These can include a reply to a tweet, a follow, a retweet, and more. And yet, the complications and their stakes can have tremendous ramifications.
And not even that long after I joined it, somebody tried to hack both my bank account and my PayPal. And they actually got into my PayPal, but I got a notification and I immediately was able to change my password and make sure nothing was taken out. But that just goes to show you how quickly something bad can happen.
These kinds of scams have become the central focus on ARMY Twitter over the past month. A crucial thread by
name redacted
entitled "What the F is Happening with ARMY Twitter? How You Could Be Affected and Why It's Possibly Dangerous," an explanation thread, summarizes the situation with simplicity. ARMY accounts with large followings are exploiting their followers through involving them in potentially dangerous giveaways. But the layers are dense and numerous. Before you watch this video, please keep a few things in mind. 1. This video is by ARMYs. I am an ARMY. The video editor Danae is an ARMY. And Nat, my interview subject, is an ARMY. Pretty much everyone assisting in the research for this video is an ARMY. Often when you hear stories about what occurs in stan spaces, whether it is in newspapers or scholarly journals, you hear them from non-stans. That can be okay, but the distance is often detrimental. Crucial details get lost, narratives simplified to the point of losing significance, and stans are dehumanized. We know what happened. We were there. We are human beings with jobs and skill sets. If anyone should tell stories about what goes on with us, it should be us. This piece would not be possible without the contributions of numerous ARMYs, from organizations like BTS Army Safety to individuals like Nat. What comes as a result is a video essay telling a very weird story about clout, scams, and harassment. But we also hope to give you sufficient information to keep yourself safe on the internet, no matter who you are. If you don't know by now, social media is filled with people looking to make money off of others. Be careful who you trust and where your money goes. Some will prove ethical to you, others will not. Twitter giveaways and scams associated with them have been happening for many years. They've happened on ARMY Twitter for many years. Cryptocurrency has existed for many years and can often be safe to buy and trade. And popular accounts on ARMY Twitter, from blue check journalists to fan bases, have long used their clout to manipulate others. But this situation, in which ARMYs are being exploited en masse through giveaways, is as hairy as it gets. To properly break this situation down, we should first discuss an account named BTS_History 613. BTS History 613 was not a highly popular account. They had a fairly decent follower base, but nothing extraordinary. They were not featured in high-profile drama, nor were they looked at as any type of fandom face up until a few months ago.
I think a lot of people really started to learn about who BTS history was actually through a giveaway. And looking back now, that probably should have been the first red flag.
Indeed, the big giveaway, the one that perhaps set many other giveaways in motion afterwards, involved popular rich YouTuber Mr. Beast. In October of 2020, he held a giveaway wherein he swore to give $10,000 to, quote, whoever ratios me hardest on this tweet, unquote. BTS History 613, sensing an opportunity to raise money for ARMY album purchases, jumped at it. And tons of ARMYs jumped on with them. Come on guys, retweet and like their posts as much as possible. We need to win. But the campaign did not have quite as much of a positive impact as intended.
That was the first time I think that I saw ARMYs really working to win a cash prize from some random account that we didn't really know much about. I saw a lot of people saying, like, why would you take this opportunity away from somebody who really needs the money? And, like, It just seemed like people really laying it on thick because there were tons of other people that were joining just for to take the money for themselves that didn't need the money either. But, like, I didn't see anybody jumping down their throat about it. It was just ARMYs for some reason.
The imagery of BTS stans competing with others with ostensibly more important usages for a 10K prize seemed like a perfect setup for people across the internet to pile on. And so they did. Not only did ARMYs receive a ton of insults from onlookers uncaring towards the context, they also didn't win. ARMYs came in second, but won another 10K from Mr. Beast anyway, who seemed ever so delighted by the fandom's collective enthusiasm. Corpse Husband won the first place 10K prize, donating it to charity.
There were other fandoms joining in, and they were, like, boosting Corpse's tweet. I saw so many people in other fandoms retweeting it and, like, quoting it and being like, please like and retweet this. He's actually going to donate to charity, unlike that selfish fandom. Like, it was really dramatic.
And yet, the conspiring of outside forces to humiliate a fandom on behalf of BTS History's efforts was not the worst potential result. More ripple effects came from this. The whole sideshow brought a lot of attention, and attention can be a dangerous thing.
And I remember my first thought when they entered this giveaway was I was like, oh god, they're gonna gain a massive following from this because that's how ARMYs are. People just start following these accounts because of like one tweet or something like that, and they don't really think about it. There's people that don't look into these accounts and they just are like so quick to trust them, and then next thing you know, this account has like a massive platform, and then they inevitably something goes wrong. We've seen it so many times, and it doesn't happen with every single account that happens to, but it does happen. I talked to a few people that were former admins of that account, and they had said that it initially was supposed to be a history account, but the main admin's focus was starting to shift away from that. So people started leaving, and a couple people had told me the main admin kind of had this like obsession with wanting to become a big account. So it looked like they were just really trying to grow their followers any way they could.
The things that went wrong can arguably be directly tied to the beginning of this attention for BTS history. While shady giveaways were nothing new, even on Stan Twitter, the massive amount of attention received by this particular campaign potentially drove even more eyeballs to an already booming online area with great susceptibility to trickery.
So everybody was like hyping it up and retweeting it to try to help them win. And looking back, I kind of wish that maybe that didn't happen, because I feel like that kind of opened the door for a lot of this like kind of crossover that we're seeing with these crypto accounts coming into like ARMY land.
In February of 2021, these crossovers went under the microscope.
I saw somebody else post, I think the day before I made my thread, or earlier in the day, they had posted something about it. It was Meg. She had a thread, and she had some of these accounts, and she was wondering, like, if they were doing it for profit. And I saw that, and I was looking into it, and I thought, I'm going to do some more digging on this because I'm curious. So I started looking into these accounts and just like searching certain keywords with their account, and sure enough, they were profiting off these giveaways, and there was a link. They knew each other. They were in the same little friend group.
What Nat discovered was significant. Many accounts on ARMY Twitter with a massive following had promoted giveaways with random, often shady accounts and were benefiting monetarily in secrecy. At first, the news had a small impact on the Twitter sphere. It came as yet another example of how big ARMY accounts can be untrustworthy. Quickly, however, Nat noticed her long-running thread and numerous ongoing updates were beginning to draw a lot of attention.
The more I started looking into it, the more disturbed I was by it, because these people that have, in some cases, millions of followers promoting these giveaways and telling people that follow them to go follow some random account that they obviously aren't vetting them. They aren't really looking into anything about them or crypto, especially like the part where they're being paid and not telling anyone about it. There's so many bad things about this. So I was like, I just started like looking into it and posting about it. And I didn't expect it to take off. You know, I never do. If it takes off, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I just post stuff for myself. So then I continued on based on the interest on that. And as it usually happens, every single time I've done one of these, the minute it starts taking off, other people start sending me messages with information, usually. Sometimes these people just don't want to post it themselves. A lot of the time people will come to me and they want to be kept anonymous. I started getting information that way, and I just continued it at that point because, like, obviously the interest was there and people were understanding that this was not a good thing. There's no way I could have tracked down every single account involved because there were so many of them.
On the 10th of February, user
name redacted,
whose username has since changed, posted her seminal thread. In a few days, it received over 34,000 likes and 16,000 retweets. It describes the details of these unsafe giveaways.
Big accounts offer a giveaway and tell their followers to follow the ad of the sponsors and themselves. That way, these accounts grow their own following and also the scammy sponsors' following. Those sponsors can do data mining, stealing your account data and analyzing/targeting ARMY. Some of those sponsors tell big account followers to follow other sponsor accounts as well, some of which post and expose minor ARMY to adult content, which is very dangerous. In conclusion, these sponsors are extremely sketchy to say the least. Once these accounts gain lots of ARMY followers, they are usually sold for money. They are using ARMY to basically buy followers. Just recently, a big ARMY account with more than 70,000 followers was sold to a crypto influencer. Fortune Z Markets is their new ad, but they used to be an ARMY. They all work in groups and are all connected. The big accounts/fan bases collab with each other and with all the sponsors. When one of them is quote-unquote exposed or has their account suspended, the others cover it up or attack the accounts exposing them. They control a bunch of bots and people who have ARMY profiles. These fake profiles can be also used as the giveaway winners. They even have weird crypto hashtags on their bios. Some of the giveaways are real, some are not. It started getting real when this group of ARMY pressed @YoungBubbles for answers. They tweeted that not only they were partnering up with these sketchy giveaways, but they were being paid as well. AKA, they were making money from the crypto people. This is when shit hit the fan for all other big fan accounts who were doing giveaways. With all of them getting paid and not disclosing with their followers, which, by the way, is illegal in the US and many other countries. A lot of them, yes. @BTS _history 613 started to feel pressure. They admitted being sponsored, but didn't reveal that they were profiting off of their followers, so we again started to ask. Word came out that @BTS _history 613 had a fixed rate for sponsorships, just like an influencer, but they didn't say that to their followers. Also related to cryptocurrency and sponsors with bios that said, quote-unquote, sponsor a giveaway to grow. Not only them though, but many side accounts also created by them were also involved in this giveaway system. A whole system of big accounts that were designed to get followers fast and grow using giveaways. Those can be sold too. Anyways, that's when you encounter @TableKey, @TayonJD _, @PGMLove95s, @Hobiaback, @Ayusuijin, @9295dolls, @KTHJJKTWT, all working together to promote each other, telling their followers to follow their accounts and the same crypto sponsors. Yesterday, Teboki came forward and finally admitted to getting paid by the sponsors. By the way, they have something like 10 to 15 giveaways per week, so imagine the money. They used the excuse that they donated some, all of the profit to charity. No receipts so far though. This is still not a reasonable excuse to exploit their followers and expose them to weird crypto/giveaway accounts. Telling them to follow sketchy sponsors blindly, complete lack of transparency. This is the main issue. Make money all you want, but you have to be clear. Many of those quote-unquote trusted sponsors were already suspended by Twitter. If that doesn't tell you it's sketchy, I don't know what will. These are also the same that contribute for solo fanbase mixtape funds. That brings us to today. A lot of information was uncovered, including that this huge network of crypto accounts know each other. They often use the same symbols and hashtags. The cryptos, seeing that ARMY was discovering it all, started to attack and harass accounts exposing it. Some of them trying to guilt-trip them, calling them fake ARMY, immature, damn weird crypto, telling us what ARMY and BTS stand for. These sponsors have ARMY/K-pop profile pictures and have cute bios. They've been infiltrating our fandom for months now. I am not here to cancel accounts. However, as an ARMY, I feel lost, and this is sketchy. Before John Bubbles admitting getting paid, we had no idea that all of this was happening. I am not telling you to unfollow these accounts. Each one of us needs to do their own research. With that said, I made this thread to organize all the information we had available so far, so that it's all in one place, so that it's easier for each one of us to make a judgment. Giveaways are not inherently bad. ARMY have been doing it for years. ARMY who can't afford albums should have the right to participate in the giveaways. The problem is the lack of transparency. If the giveaway is promoted by an account that isn't doing this for self-promo, it's probably okay. I am not against giveaways. I hope you can understand that I just created this thread because I genuinely don't want our fandom to get targeted. Also, these same people are already branching outside of our fandom to infiltrate in K-pop in general.
With that thread being read, I would like to conclude the second part by providing further analysis of how each party is affected by the giveaways. I discussed this matter in depth with Nat. First, why are giveaway accounts seeking ARMY followers? What do they get out of this?
There's definitely a lot of different ways they can benefit from this, and it's really like an account by account basis. Obviously, they're going to gain followers. And if they're gaining a lot of followers, it makes it look like they have more credibility. Like, especially the financial advice accounts. If they have a lot of followers, it looks like they give pretty good financial advice. But is it really because they give good financial advice, or is it because they're paying people to promote them? Like, they're kind of illegitimately propping up their own financial advice with fake followers. Obviously, they're real people, but like, they're not following them for their financial advice. They're following them because somebody told them to, so that they could win some money or an album or something. Another way they benefit is if they do have links and they are taking people's information, they're using that information to their advantage. I think another way that they're benefiting, and this is something I saw, one account in particular, I saw this happen. I'm assuming they were being paid by the people who have this app to do this. One of the requirements for this giveaway that they posted was you had to go to this website and you had to add a certain stock to your watch list, which I'm not really sure how you do that without making an account. And then you also had to go to this website that the stock was for, like it was a stock for an app, and you had to go and leave a positive review.
And this was
And
what
you
they were
also-
asking the armies following the army account to do
Yes.
for the sweepstakes?
Yeah, and you had to screenshot to show that you did this to enter the giveaway. And I think it was like, the giveaway was like $100 cash and an album. So they were asking people to do this. And obviously, that's a very weird request for a giveaway. And I think a lot of people don't understand why that's so strange. But if you trade stocks, a stock that's being added to a watch list by a ton of people, it makes it look like it's a good stock. Like, a lot of people are watching it. You know, it's a signal to investors that a lot of people are interested in that stock. And if you have a bunch of people, you know, leaving positive reviews for an app in mass. It looks like it's a good app and a lot of people like it, which is also a signal to investors to buy more of the stock. And I just happened to notice, I checked the stock that day for that particular app and it was like tanking. So I thought it was really interesting that that was the particular thing they were choosing to do that day. They were asking people to add the stock to the watch list and upvote it. It seems like subtle market manipulation to me. And my guess is they were being paid by whoever has the app or whoever has a lot of shares in that stock to do that. And I mean, maybe they themselves own shares in that stock and they wanted to somehow reverse the direction, but I thought that was such a strange thing. Obviously, they stand to gain from it somehow, whether it's the giveaway account themselves or whoever owns the app. But like, this person that wasn't even the first time they had done that. That was a requirement for a few different giveaways. And some of the time they would also be asking you to follow one of these like financial advisor accounts. So I'm assuming the people that have the financial advisor account probably have shares in that stock or they have some kind of stake in the business that the stock is for. So they're definitely gaining that way too. Like that's how they're benefiting that way too, because they're working it to their advantage to increase their own profit.
Part of
Redacted.
this thread also points out with screenshots how followers can often be crucial to the status of cryptocurrencies these accounts are pushing.
Examples of how the crypto accounts benefit from ARMY. They use this to boost their own currency's engagement. This is why they need the follows. See how the circle crypto accounts dropped from the chart once the giveaways stop?
These giveaway accounts can also find numerous ways to retrieve sensitive information from people who participate in giveaways, which can then lead to things like identity theft.
And the account I was talking about earlier that was asking people to go to a link and add a stock to a watch list, even if you go through and you do all that and you take your screenshot for proof to enter that giveaway and everything seems fine, you have no idea if that link you just clicked on stole your information or not. It's not like a flag pops up that's like, aha, gotcha, we stole your information. Like, you just would have no idea of knowing until something happens. And that's not even the only way. There was an account that I saw, and it was another giveaway account that was posing as an army, that in order to enter the giveaway, they weren't asking you to follow anybody. But what they were asking you to do was every time you entered a giveaway, there was a question you had to answer. Like, what's your pet's name? What city are you from?
Oh my god.
I was like, oh my god, those are security questions. And not even just security questions. A lot of the time, people use information like that to make a password. It's how they're getting information from you so that they can get into your account.
So
and maybe not even your bank account, but your Twitter account, and make it a giveaway account or make it a crypto account.
Right. Or just log into your Twitter account, find sensitive information, use it.
Yeah. And it just, people don't even realize. I was like, oh my god. And the one account was really crafty with how they were asking the questions, because they were making it BTS related so that it wasn't as obvious, but at the same time, it's like, oh god. Like, they were like, what city do you live in? Has BTS come there yet? What would you do if they did? Like, it was like they were incorporating BTS into the questions they were asking. Like, one of them was like, how close is your birthday to a member of BTS? Like, do you share a birthday with a member of BTS? If not, when's your birthday? And people were just answering, not even thinking about it, because I think there's a lot of young people or people that don't have money that aren't even, that stuff doesn't cross their mind when they're entering this stuff, because they're just thinking about winning the item or winning cash, you know?
Right.
This is all aside from the potential for the winners of these giveaways to actually be fake accounts created by the sponsor or one of their associates, something that has happened in numerous cases.
One of the people that I included in my thread, it was somebody who was defending one of the other accounts. They're like, their giveaways are legit, I know for a fact. But then you go to their account and they're also like in with the crypto accounts. They're posting about crypto and stuff. Like, so are they legit, or do they have a little network of people that are willing to be the prize winners and kind of prop these up and be like, oh, look, I won this? Like, you can lie about anything online. So it's tough to tell how many of the giveaways were legitimate and how many weren't.
What seems particularly confusing about this story as well is how these army accounts seemed to have been so oblivious to the possibility of these giveaways potentially putting their followers in harm's way. One account seemed to have realized this possibility existed months ago, and still did not change their behavior.
There was something I just found out today. It wasn't included in my thread, and I didn't find out about it until today. Actually, back in November, Taeboki one of the people that they had asked people to follow, they made a tweet and they were like, hey, I asked you guys to follow this account for this giveaway. Please unfollow them. They're a scammer. And they were still doing it. The minute that happened, you should be like, no, I'm done. When I saw that, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, they found out that the person who was doing these giveaways wasn't giving anyone any prizes. They were just like scamming people.
Right.
I was like, oh, God.
This begs the question. Why were ARMY accounts getting involved with these giveaway accounts? And how do they come in contact with them in the first place? And why deal with them?
One of the accounts that was involved in this, one of the accounts that one of the armies was asking people to follow, I think it's like Scott Warrior or something like that. He actually posted about this and said he would never do a K-pop giveaway again because he was really obviously upset about this whole ordeal because people were saying it was like a scam and they were saying like crypto is dangerous, and he was not happy about it, probably because he's paying people to sponsor him to do these giveaways. But he said that they come to him and ask if they can sponsor him. And that really doesn't surprise me, but there's definitely something really shady about that to me. People these random accounts that are like giveaway accounts for cryptocurrency, or just they're promising to give away cash or whatever the case may be. And they're like, oh, I'll promote you in exchange for money. And that's basically how that goes down. And if you look in a lot of these people's bios, like the ones that they're asking people to follow, it says right in their bio, DM for sponsorship. So it is in their bio that they want you to DM them if you want to sponsor them. So it wouldn't surprise me if all of the people that were involved in this were asking them if they could sponsor them in exchange for money.
Where there are potentially numerous examples of ARMY accounts outwardly approaching these giveaway accounts for deals, there is also substantial evidence collected by numerous armies of these accounts reaching out to armies for deals, often with very aggressive tones. In many of them, a fee is offered or negotiated to be sent to the ARMY account. In other words, they are paid for these sponsorships.
Well, based off of what we saw from all the ARMY accounts that were involved that were posting their statements after this all came out, they were making money from doing it. And some of them were saying like, oh, well, I don't keep the money. I like donate it to charity or whatever. And I'm like, we have no way of knowing that. And especially if you've been doing this for months or years now, and people are just now finding out and you're just now admitting it, like that's like years or months worth of money that we don't know what you used it for. And I think maybe one or two said they used it for charity. The other ones were just like, yeah, I make money off of it. And I was like, well, that's great. Like, thanks for admitting that now.
I asked Nat to specify, how much money are we talking?
So I looked at Teboki. In the course of like 2 weeks, they had posted, I think, like 17 times about giveaways. And if each one of those was a separate giveaway and they were making about the same that the other accounts said, which is like $10 to $20 per giveaway, they're making like $200 in like a 2-week period. And that's just off 2 weeks. If they're doing it consistently, which Teboki was, which I didn't actually realize how long Teboki had been doing it because I didn't follow them anyway because there's other issues with that account. They had been doing them at least since October or November. So they made quite a bit of money off of it.
Finally, we need to break down the ways in which armies are endangered by these giveaways, because many will suggest that these types of giveaways, while having potential to be dangerous or fraudulent, are not entirely problematic. They will suggest that the ones they partake in are safe and that their rewards are legitimate. But the dangers of these giveaways have layers and do not only appear in the obvious fake rewards or identity thefts. The legitimacy these accounts gain with their followers allow them to tamper with the market and legitimize scams of all sorts that they can then run.
Even in the event that they're not necessarily asking them to click a link for the giveaway, if they start following these accounts and they don't unfollow them, somebody made the argument, well, you can just unfollow. And I was like, yeah, you could, but not everybody's going to think or remember to do that. And especially if like every giveaway, they're asking you to follow like the same 3 or 4 people. And then you're seeing their tweets on your timeline and these links on there, and they're like promising you money. If you do these things or if you click these links, you're going to get fast cash or you're going to get crypto. People that need money, that are desperate for money, that are struggling financially, they'll click it. They'll do it because they want money. even though it's not true, there is this weird association people make with large followings that if somebody has a large following, that what they say must be true or right or like popular. And that's another thing too, is if you don't have a big following, you're not going to have all these people wanting to pay you to do sponsorships for them. So it's very much dependent on having a large following. So the whole reason they're even able to make money is because of all those fans that follow them. So for you to not say anything about that just seems very not okay. You know, you're making money at the expense of other people. And not only that, but I do think it does help them increase their followers. And I do think people get like addicted to that clout, even if it's not just for the giveaways and them profiting. They want their other tweets to do well. They like having this big following and like a big voice on ARMY Twitter. It shows that an account can be bought. Its interest can be bought. And that's not a good thing. Like in a fandom space where there's certain conversations that come up and, you know, topics that people need to talk about, they're not going to do anything to jeopardize that because they could lose the money for that. So like basically anything they talk about that could make them lose that money, they're not going to do it, which is not great when we're talking about accounts that have massive platforms, because those are the people that like you really need to stand up and say something.
With that said, these scammers have clearly not been very happy with the prospect of losing these markets. As a result, many of them are lashing out. To conclude the essay, we should talk about people like this guy.
But here's the thing though, no one is breaking any terms of services. So I'm kind of confused where you're getting this kind of information from and why you're trying to just attack people like that. First off, extremely toxic, and second off, that is the reason a lot of people hate BTS.
Whether these giveaway accounts are pulling off high-level, high-crime scams or are merely using attention from armies to help boost themselves, their sponsorship in these giveaways is shady at best. And when challenged, and subject to reports from armies for spamming, impersonating, and more, many of these giveaway accounts decided not to go down without a fight. This tweet shows the giveaway account Nana back, holding a brand new type of giveaway, one in which, for people to participate, would require reporting army accounts on her trail. Where does Nana back get this money to essentially send bounties out for armies? Well, one may surmise it comes from the thousands of dollars a month she makes solely from doing giveaways, and she's far from the only one looking to silence her critics. Even without the monetary incentive, these accounts, which have mustered large followings in great part due to these giveaways, have been utilizing their followings to intimidate those who call them out.
Not all of these giveaway accounts have massive followings, but a lot of the ones that were involved and were like jumping in to defend these people, I guess they're both giveaway and crypto accounts, a lot of them were people that have pretty big followings. So the minute that they replied or quoted somebody, all their followers would jump in to their defense. So you're seeing people getting like dogpiled over it. And that can be really overwhelming. And it wasn't just for the intent of baiting them into saying something that they could get them reported for and suspended for. It was also definitely to try to just discredit the entire argument that there was anything wrong with the situation. And that part really rubbed me the wrong way. You have these grown men running these crypto accounts that are like, there's nothing wrong with crypto. Everything about it is perfectly safe. There's no risk. And that is just dishonest. Like, that is not true. Sure, there are legal and safe ways to buy crypto, but not everybody that's doing these crypto giveaways or whatever the case may be is doing it with pure intentions. There are people that are going to post phishing links because they want to take your money so that they can get more crypto. Especially when you're talking about minors, like people that are very young that don't have any trading experience, they might not know anything about crypto. For you to be like, there's no risk at all, just go ahead and join this and we'll give you some crypto or whatever, and not tell them anything about how trading works or what the risks are, like, I think that's a really shitty thing to do.
One since suspended account in particular, The World's a Mine, RIP, has been building a following of armies for some time. At one point, this account leaked the album artwork for BTS's latest album, B, a no-no generally in the fandom, claiming he worked for Target. He went on numerous tirades upon facing ARMY accounts' wrath. This is why I will never be an ARMY. Many who claim to be ARMY are nothing more than a facade, fakes. Your ignorance shows up when things don't go your way, you don't like something, or when you feel threatened because of your insecurities. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is bliss. Nanabak and The World's a Mine, despite their large following and engagement, have both had their accounts suspended. Making them two of at least 70 accounts armies have managed to get suspended for their actions. But there are still plenty more out there, and these accounts can still make plenty of more accounts, wherein they can reach plenty of more followers. And so, let us conclude with general safety advice and lessons to learn moving forward. For one, do not participate in any Twitter giveaway that asks you to do anything you do not wish to do. Do not follow any account that purports to give financial advice or dealings which you are not familiar with or comfortable with. And frankly, do not trust giveaways that are sponsored by people who seem unrelated. If you are to participate in any, participate in the ones that come from trusted sources, particularly ones you follow directly and can verify act responsibly with their platform and are not asking for anything weird. For two, do not buy and trade crypto that you haven't studied. For three, when you see people on the internet promising money in exchange for nothing, be very, very skeptical. Many, if not all, of these giveaway accounts have dressed themselves up as philanthropists who merely give money away, charitable kind figures, but they are always receiving something in return. If they truly wanted to give money away, they would just give money away. They wouldn't ask for follows on social media, and they wouldn't be giving it to some random winner of a BTS giveaway. People like Nanabak and The World's a Mine thrive off of the aesthetics of charity, coupled with the silent reality of exploitation. User
name also redacted
drew a parallel. This whole situation reminds me that YouTubers would buy a sandwich and give it to a homeless man while recording them, then upload it on YouTube where the videos get hundreds of thousands, even millions of views. That $5 sandwich can then generate thousands of dollars in profit. Sure, the homeless person got a sandwich, but someone exploited their need of food as a way to make money off of it. Giveaway accounts function in a similar manner. They are not the only ones trying to take advantage of charitable aesthetics and the attention of armies. The varieties of ways in which people can do so are numerous. Days after writing this essay, a new threat was revealed on TikTok.
Is this popular TikToker using BTS to scam ARMY? This TikToker with 73,000 followers made a video about wanting to start a BTS accountability group for ARMY to get fit together. Amazing, right? Well, the first red flag is that you must be 18 plus and live in one of these 4 countries to participate.
A content creator had used ARMY engagement to draw financially needy people into an MLM scheme. So it goes. ARMY Twitter has always been a contentious place. One in which threads of analysis and charity campaigns live nearby scammers and manipulative public figures. Big accounts are often distrusted and dogpiled. Many deserve so much scrutiny and so much criticism, and many don't. If anything should be revealed by this story, it is that ARMY spaces are not just places to stand, and they never have been. They are places where attention is as high as it is scattered. ARMY spaces on social media are areas on the internet in which untapped markets are sought after, in which power is created and disseminated. For better or for worse, many of us and any of us can benefit from it.
I think a lot of people have figured out that ARMY clout is like god tier clout.
So you will do nothing? Apathy is death, worse than death, because at least a rotting corpse feeds the beasts and insects.
Apathy is death.
Apathy is death. Apathy is death.
Apathy is death.
Statement: apathy is death.
Apathy is death.
Apathy is death. Apathy is death.
Apathy is death. And know that that is the true lesson of strength, to turn away from strength that is not your own.